Hello guys and welcome back. Today I want to do a quick explanation of mechanics regarding splitting steel and why it is so strong and how returning projectiles and Nimbus interacts with this build. The reason why I want to do this video is because I did some research on Trickster and Champion with splitting steel. Splitting steel is currently ranked 9 when it comes to the most popular skills on POE, on POE Ninja. And so I thought maybe I'm gonna try the build, and I was trying to look into it and check why this skill is so popular. But I couldn't find anyone really explaining the mechanics. There's one guide from Rutu. He explained the build, but he didn't really explain the mechanics, and it's from before the league. It's a league starter guide that was made before the league started, so it's not an actual guide for this league. Method played it. He kinda explained it, but I think it's I think he could have done a better job of explaining it. And currently Steel Mage is also playing it. He released a kind of a build guide today. I don't know if I can find it. But he neither explained how exactly this skill works and why it's so good. And I've also found this guy. This is actually a good video called Sish, and he is comparing the two builds, the Trickster and the Champion. So if you want to check all these people out, if you want to know, if you want to have a proper build guide, you should either check out the current Steel Mage build or the comparison from this guy if you don't know what variant you want to play, or check out Metal or Rutu guides. I'm gonna link them all down in the description below. But I don't want to really make a build guide. I don't want to go over the builds. I want to explain why this build is so good, why Nimbus is so good on both variants, and why returning projectiles is so good. And the reason why this is so complicated is because it's a little different from other projectile spells or skills. Usually projectile spells, they would shoot out and then you have returning projectiles, right? And they would return to you and then the projectiles hit the enemy. But for this skill it's a little different actually. And this is because the way splitting steel works is that you attack and then you shoot out one projectile, then you see it explodes at the end here, or if it hits an enemy, and then it splits into multiple projectiles which explode again. Now if I put in returning projectiles, this means the second, like, it explodes once, it explodes the second time, and then I have the returning projectile coming back to me. And these projectiles then explode again. And as I mentioned, it's not the projectile that is actually doing the damage here. What is actually doing the damage is this small explosion at the end of the returning projectile. And if I understood it correctly, this means that you actually do not want to have too much projectile speed. The reason for it is, if we look at my character, when stuff returns to you, right, it's gonna explode in front of me or close to me. And I am not really sure, let me check, faster projectiles, what happens when we get too much projectile speed. I think Rutu mentioned something like 80% or something. I think we can't do it with projectile speed on one game only. But I think if you get too much projectile speed, what can happen is that they don't explode or something. Or that they just go past you. You can see here, some projectiles sometimes they just go way past me. So you want them to basically explode around you as close as possible, and getting too much projectile speed means that some projectiles just, I don't know, maybe if you move or whatever, they just, you see, sometimes they just explode behind me. And this means when you stack on top of an enemy and you hit, that these projectiles go past you and they don't hit. So you don't want to have too much projectile speed. I think Rutu only had one cluster, or even took the reduced projectile speed cluster. Let me see, splitting steel. What are they taking? This is, yeah, Champion, right? Let me see. Yeah, exactly. They're not taking the projectile speed clusters here. This is very important. Because it is not the projectile that is hitting the enemy. And I think nobody really explained it. And I don't think most people know that are playing the build. They're just following the build guide. And maybe they try out stuff and then all of a sudden the build doesn't work as well as it could because they are not really aware of the fact that it's not the projectile that is actually doing the damage, but the explosion at the end of the projectile. This is also why they are trying to get some area of effect. Let me just see. I'm actually not sure. I think they're stacking some area of effect, but I don't actually know where they're doing this. I know Rutu talked about it. And I know they're getting some area of effect. Oh yeah, they are, of course. They're using Awakened Area of Effect. And this might seem like a relatively bad support. So if you would league start this and you had no idea about the build, you probably, maybe you're new to the game, and you only have like a 4-link, 5-link at the beginning of the league, or you have no budget for a 6-link yet, you might leave out the increased area of effect because you think it's not the most important gem in the build. But it's actually super important because if you have projectiles landing next to you, like here, you've seen some explode out here, and you're standing on the boss and you're trying to shotgun the boss with the returning projectiles. You can't do that well if you do not have enough area for these small explosions to actually cover the boss as well. So you want to have a lot of area. And I think this is not probably explained by anyone. So if you're trying to play this build, well, first of all, you need to decide if you're going champion or trickster. And I will link this video, as I said earlier. I will link the video from Sish. I think this is very good. He explains a bit of the difference. I mean, the one is obviously with perseverance and stacking armor and evasion, and the other one is with mage flood, so this might be a little bit more expensive. But from what I've heard, the trickster version is tankier than the splitting steel version. I don't know about the damage, but yeah, I know Steel Mage is playing the trickster in hardcore, so this must be a good build. So if Steel Mage is playing it, I think we can be certain that it is tanky. This build also is probably really tanky because I've seen Sish reaching 70k armor, 70k evasion. This is actually shown, yeah, look at these numbers. So this is just from these numbers alone, this build is tanky, okay? So if you want to play this build, decide which variant you want to play. This one's probably cheaper. Splitting Steel Champion and Splitting Steel CI Trickster is more expensive, but might be actually better. And yeah, there's also, I think the Ruto build guide is kinda nice. I think he goes over the most important things. If you want to play the Trickster variant, if you want to play the Champion variant, and if you want to play the Trickster variant, I think you should go for either the variant this guy linked down here, Sish linked, or Steel Mage, but he's playing more of a hardcore character, so there might be some differences. I hope this video helped. If you've seen someone else explaining it already, let me know, because I was not aware of it, or I can't find anyone really explaining the mechanic. And yeah, see you next time.